Hello, everybody. Once again, it's Jeffrey Daniel here, coming to you from Abuja, Nigeria. Today is December 27th, 2020. 4 more days before the Fat Lady sings, you guys. Wow. This year is almost over with. Wow. And we're blessed to be here. We're all blessed to be here. First, I'd like to greet you all with a very happy, blessed holiday, holy day, season's greeting. And I hope this message finds you all in good health and peace of mind. Considering what we're all have been subjected to by our governments, I think we're doing pretty good just to be here. Now, I don't mean to disrupt your holiday Yuletide feelings of joy and happiness, but unfortunately, mayhem has no vacation. And the ongoing mayhem our governments are dishing out requires constant scrutiny. So we cannot afford to take our eyes off the ball. Not for 1 second, you guys. Got to keep our eye on that ball, okay? So the reason why I say America is not serious yet, it's my response to my observations and to how the American media and government responds to its homegrown terrorism. For some ungodly reason, they refuse to recognize it as terrorism whenever it's committed by white American citizens. Now, of course, it should be inconsequential what race a terrorist is, but look at the reports. Look at the history of terrorist attacks against Americans by white Americans. You have to be conscious of how they label these atrocities and the way they attempt to cushion the severity of the culprits and the identities when dealing with white American citizens. Let me give you a couple of examples of reminders, okay? Remember when the 9/11 World Trade Center buildings were destroyed? Well, within hours, they were accusing the Taliban and Osama bin Laden before they had any thorough investigation or concrete proof was ever established. But it was immediately labeled a terrorist attack, a terror attack on American soil, because the suspected attackers were non-white. On top of being non-American, I'll give you that. They weren't Americans. The alleged suspects, that thing is still in question. Now, this is what triggered my alarm. When the media started saying that 9/11 was the worst terrorist attack on American soil since Pearl Harbor in the Second World War in 1941. I was like, what the? Did they just conveniently omit the Oklahoma City Trade Center bombing in 1995? Just 6 years earlier? And I hate the way they have to find previous events to compare recent events to. Why is it so important to compare atrocities? Like each atrocity is an atrocity within itself. So you don't have to go, well, this is the worst one since so-and-so, and this is they do that all the time when something happens. Now, for those of you who forgot, in 1995, Timothy McVeigh, a white American citizen, parked a rented van outside of the Oklahoma Trade Center building, walked away, then detonated a bomb, reducing 3 buildings to rubble, damaging 300 nearby buildings, and killed 168 citizens, including 19 children. But yet they do not consider that a terrorist attack. They call it the Oklahoma City bombing. Okay? Let's look up the definition of terrorism, okay? I found out that there are 5 types of terrorisms. Number 1, the new terrorism, state terrorism. Number 2, dissident terrorism. Number 3, religious terrorism. Number 4, ideological terrorism. Number 5, international terrorism. And your sub-classifications as accepted typologies include nationalist terrorism, ethno-national terrorism, and racial terrorism. These are all the descriptions of what terrorism is about, okay? So, why do they spare calling all terrorist acts perpetrated by white Americans as terrorism? That's the question I'm asking you guys. Okay. In 2015, Dylan Stormroof, is it Dylan or Dylan? Okay. Dylan Stormroof walked into a church full of black worshipers and opened fire, killing 9 people. Upon being arrested on the scene of a mass shooting, he told the arresting officers that he was hungry, and they took him to a Burger King and got him a Whopper, probably with double cheese. Then, after finding his ties to neo-Nazi and symbols of white supremacy on his PC, they still refused to call it an act of terror. They conveniently titled it the Charleston Church Shooting. Well, he's currently on death row awaiting his execution. Not terrorism, but the Charleston Church Shooting. Okay. In 2017, Stephen Paddock checked into a Las Vegas hotel room and opened fire on a crowd of country music lovers attending an outdoor concert, killing 60 innocent concert-going, meticulously picking them off with a scope on his rifle, and once again, it's dubbed the Las Vegas Shooting. A mass shooting, murder-suicide. Then they went on to describe how he was despondent in taking medications. I guess that makes us feel a lot more comfortable, right? But wait, do you guys realize that this dude purchased 55 firearms prior to his massacre? Who buys that many weapons unless he's ready for a war? Why would they sell somebody that many weapons in the first place? So, this brings us to our latest Christmas Day blast. Don't you just love these cute titles? Sounds like an annual holiday event. So far, they're withholding the suspect's name, but they have found a link to where the van originated and identity leaks. So, tell me, if I were to park a van outside of the AT&T transmission building, announce over speaker to clear the area because a bomb is about to explode, I detonate it and blow up the van and take out a whole city block, disrupting AT&T communications across the whole state, parts of Alabama, Kentucky, and the Nashville International Airport, along with 911 call centers. Would that be qualified as a terrorist attack? But once again, they give it a cute little title, the Nashville Blast. Merry Christmas Explosion, the Christmas Day Blast. Anything but terrorism, because they know it's a white American. So, from the Oklahoma City bombing, the Las Vegas shooting, to Charleston Church shooting, to the recent 2020 Christmas Day bombing, only 9/11 is considered a terrorist attack. Yet we read their definition of terrorism. We just read the definition of terrorism. Please, go figure. In fact, President Trump called Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd protesters, he called them terrorists. Go figure. The President of the United States of America, President Trump, I told you guys I demoted him. He's demoted from President Trump to Resident Trump until he leaves the White House. Anyway, President Trump called the Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd protesters terrorists. I don't know what's wrong with America with its inability to call white terrorists terrorists. White American act of terrorism, terrorism. They don't do that. I don't know what it is, you guys. So, unless they want to do right by things, they're going to have to do right by everybody. You have to call a spade a spade. Terrorism is terrorism, regardless, irrespective of who commits it. It's terrorism. All right? So, let's move on to the great vaccine rollout. As I said in my previous post, numbers do not lie. May I once again remind you that I am not a coronavirus denier. But can I ask most of you, do you even know the difference between coronavirus and COVID-19? I bet most of you think it's the same thing, like I used to think. Do you know the difference between coronavirus and COVID-19? All I want to say about this COVID-19 pandemic is, why are they only announcing the vaccine rollout and trying to get everyone on earth to take a vaccine that's admittedly not even a vaccine at all? Now, I will allow you guys to look it up for yourselves so you don't have to look at me sideways for teaching you something that you didn't know. Google it. Go online. Google the difference between coronavirus and COVID-19. That's you guys' Christmas project, okay? Everyone's at home anyway, so you got something. You got time on your hands, all right? All right. Once again, it's a mRNA-coded injection, messenger ribonucleic acid. It's a new type of vaccine to trigger an immune response. I told you guys, it's not a vaccine at all. They're using it as a vaccine. Now get this. The actual vaccine puts a weakened or inactivated germ into our bodies to combat the actual virus that it's derived from, but not the mRNA. Instead, it instructs our cells how to make a protein or a piece of the protein to trigger an immune response in our bodies, to produce antibodies to protect us from the real virus when it enters our bodies. Never extensively tested on humans and never before used on humans, but they're rolling it out. And because our economies are at a stalemate, everyone will be so relieved to receive this injection of an imitation vaccine. So once again, I'd like to familiarize you with the current number of COVID-19 cases. Remember, I said numbers don't lie. Here's what they're reporting in America. America cases are over 19 million and rising. 19 million, keep that in your mind. America, 19 million and rising. The death rate, 339,921. Out of over 19,339,921 deaths. Now, here's the recovery rate. 11,410,501 recoveries out of the reported 19 million cases. Now, when we come down to the American closed cases, and this is what I want you guys to really pay attention to. Closed cases are 11,750,412 closed cases in America. 11,750,412 closed cases, and the recoveries, 11,410,501. Now marinate on that. That's why there's only 339. I don't mean only like, I'm not taking it light, you guys. I'm not downplaying the death toll. I mean, the death toll is a death toll. But that's why there's 339,921. Because 11,410,501 have recovered, and there are 11,750,412 closed cases. That's the real numbers. You have to understand, the reason why they're reporting 19 million is because those are people who they just test. Oh, coronavirus is there, chalk it up. Coronavirus is there, chalk it up. Somebody could die in a car accident, but if they detected coronavirus. That's why there's so many people who they're saying are asymptomatic, people who aren't even showing any signs, because there's only enough coronavirus in your system maybe to be detected, and that's it. I'm not taking it lightly for people who have become severely ill with this and people who have succumbed to death with this, you guys. This is a tragedy on all accounts. But the fact is, that's why you have 11 million recoveries, almost 11.5 million recoveries out of 11,750,000 closed cases. Numbers don't lie, you guys. Numbers don't lie. Now, I'm not saying don't take the mRNA injection or to take it. All I'm asking is, how do we trust a system that has a propensity for deceiving the public? Let me ask you that again. How do we trust a system that has a propensity for deceiving the public? Ask yourselves that. And if you don't know the word, look it up, propensity. So if Biden really wants to save the soul of America, America is going to have to be honest with itself and stop denying its crimes against itself. We're going to have to call spades spades. It's the only way to be equal. It's the only way to be honest. It's the only way to deal with what we're dealing with. Now, I will let you all get back to your holiday festivities, and let's see what happens between now and January 20th, 2021, Inauguration Day. You guys, something is telling me we're in for a hot ride between now, December 27th, and January 20th. We just had a Christmas blast. Trump has emboldened his fanatic supporters, to go out and cause mayhem against American society. And this guy is still walking free. We've got fanatic people. We have terrorist groups. We have extremist groups. As he said, stand back and stand by. And now they're being activated. Watch what's going to happen. I told you guys, these people think that they can push us into a second civil war. They think they can take over the government. Trump has not relented yet. To this day, he's saying those votes were stolen and I'm still the president of America. And he has no plans on leaving the White House. I think Melania and Barron and them, they're packing their bags, and Trump is saying, no, don't touch my stuff. Leave it there. Leave my stuff there. No, don't touch that McDonald's. Leave it there. You guys, I hate to be the author of doom or predicting something negative. Look what's going. Remember I said people don't adjust to change in real time. Look what's happening, you guys. Look what's going on. Christmas was just probably a precursor to what's about to happen. Him going down south and continuing to activate these people, his supporters who believe that the votes were stolen from him. You know, it almost makes you scared for the future, but this is what we're facing, you guys. I wish for the best. I pray for the best, you guys. I pray we have a happy new year. I pray that 2021 brings us much better fortune than 2020 brought us, you guys. This has been a hell of a ride. A hell of a ride. 4 more days. 4 more days and 2020's up. Then we have to see what's going to happen leading into the inauguration on January 20th, 2021. Odd times, you guys, odd times. As I say always, spread the love, make love great again. I wish the best for you all. I hope you guys have a happy holiday season considering what we're going through. Make the best of it, you guys. I love you all. Much love from Abuja, Nigeria. Take care, you guys, okay? Keep your eye on what's going on. Keep your eyes open and don't go out there, you guys. Don't feed into it. Just lay back, let it play out. God bless you. Bye-bye.